As a sales rep, one of the things that naturally happens when you call a prospect is you want to figure out a way to grab their attention right away. How do you get this person interested on a cold outreach? I'm going to share with you a tip that I utilize. Hopefully, this can help you as well and make your conversations a little bit easier. Check it out. Hey, everyone. Welcome to another great episode of the Sales Evangelist Podcast. I'm your host, Donald C. Kelly, the Sales Evangelist, and I'm so excited for another great episode. I'm so excited to be here with you today. On this episode, I want to give a big shout out to my friends over at Ambition. If you haven't checked them out yet, you can find out more information about Ambition in the show notes. But they have an amazing conference. And last year, I had an opportunity to go, and the year before that, they hosted in Nashville, and they have an amazing solution that helps when it comes to coaching your reps, or if you're an individual sales rep, a tool that can help you to get the guidance and help you need. And I would encourage you, if you want to find more information about Ambition and how it can help you to be coach and get to your next level, go to the link down in the show notes. Big shout out to my friends over there. And thanks for the cool hat. I love it. Now, as we talk about this, when it comes to cold outreach, many of us are doing cold outreach. The challenge that we face when we do cold outreach is that we're not getting the connects that we would like. And you're probably getting some connects. People are probably answering their phones, and you're probably getting secretaries and so forth. But when you get someone on a call and you're trying to get that connect into an appointment or to the next step, there's a challenge. Or even just at the very beginning, what do? We did an episode about a few weeks ago, maybe it was back in December, and we were going through a series, and we talk about the first 7 seconds. One in particular portion of that 7 seconds I want to talk about, and thinking you can call it 7 seconds or 10 seconds or whatnot. But this one, I'll give you a story and an example with it, and hopefully it can make sense for you as well. I was calling into this prospect, and you and I both know the situation. You call multiple people, and you make phone calls after phone calls, and you need to stay vigilant, so to speak, right? You need to stay on your game and be prepared to be able to answer or talk to someone when they finally pick up the phone. But most of us, it's just tough to do that, to be when you go through 15 calls and you didn't get any connect, and then you finally get someone, you're throwing off your game. Perhaps you're looking at the computer, looking at your phone, scrolling or something else in the same time. Now, we have other episodes that we can tackle and talk about that as well, what you can do during that call to make sure you stay vigilant. But in particular, whenever it happens, no matter who you are, I find that sometimes you get thrown off your game. Instead of jumping straight into the pitch, "Hi, my name is so and so. I'm from XYZ company. I want to sell you blah, 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 blah." What I found to be effective is to be able to slow down the conversation and to take ownership of the conversation. So it may sound something like this, and I'll give you the example that I mentioned. I said I would give. Called into a prospect, dude answered the phone. All of a sudden, it just, the dog that's chasing the car finally caught it. I don't know what to say at this point. Forgot my message. But typically what I do, I verify the person's name. I know this may sound crazy, but usually people answer the phone and they don't say, "Hi, this is Donald." I do that because of the world that we're in, right? But most times people answer the phone that says, "Hello," and you want to verify this is the right person. It's your first time speaking to them. So that's what I do. And then they'll say, "Yeah, who is this?" "This is Donald." And then to give myself more time to collect myself, I say, "This is Donald with Blue Mango Studios. Have you heard of that? Have you heard of us before? Or does the name ring a bell?" You love using that one. And then usually they'll think for a second. But all this time allows for me to collect myself and prepare with my relevancy and then also the value proposition that I'm going to give. I remember one time I called a guy and I asked him about if he heard about our production company, Blue Mango. And so I did everything that I shared with you. "Hi, this is," I can't remember his name, but let's say his name is Matt. "Hi, is this Matt?" He said, "Yes, this is he." So I got a chance to just be cool, calm, collective, and just calm down. Then I told him who I am and where I'm calling from. Typically, that's what people want to know: who you are, why you're calling, who you are, why you're calling them. And so basically those two things, right? Who you are and why you're calling them. So I told him it was Donald with Blue Mango Studios, and then I asked him, "Does the name ring a bell?" Now he stopped and he started to think for a second. And he said, "Vaguely, I think so." When I call on behalf of our sales training company, the Sales Evangelist, usually people have heard about the podcast. So that does give us a little bit of ammo, or it may start the conversation, or we can build rapport around it. And that's a great thing. But both of those situations allows for us to start having conversation. The whole point of the cold call is not necessarily just a pitch. The point of the phone call is to be able to share that you have a relevant solution to a problem that you feel that they have. And maybe this problem has made itself known and you're aware of it. Perhaps you did some research prior to the call and somebody internally validated that challenge or issue, but now you are calling and you want to make sure that person understands and gives you the time of the day because you understand where they're coming from. That's the level of relevancy. If you don't have true relevancy, it's kind of tough to make effective cold calls or cold outreach. You got to make sure you have something that they're going to feel is matters to them, then thus that relevancy, and also something that you feel and some in your value prop or your pitch should in some way include that solution that tells them that you can fix their problem. So in my case, usually we go into notice that when it comes to our production company, notice that you're not that you notice that you guys are producing a lot of great content. Maybe it's around their blogs. Try to find something that they have, or maybe it's other type of content they're producing. However, notice that you're not doing a podcast. Is that something that you have on your 2025 plan, or is that something you have on your short list? And usually that starts the conversation where it might say, yeah, it is, or no, it's not, and for whatever reason or whatnot. But those yes or no's, I like them at the very beginning of the call because they don't know me, but at least it starts to engage them. And then we start a conversation around it. It starts to percolate or starts to prick their mind, and they start to get curious about podcasting, and we go into a discussion around it. With our training organization, similar thing. Maybe it's around their new team members, and maybe the fact that I saw that they're bringing on more people because of their job placements that they have or job applications that are out there. Perhaps it's them resharing things, and I ask about onboarding those sales reps and what's their process, and if they ever partner with outside organizations for that continuing ed. And it's amazing how this starts that discussion. But I came from somewhere as an outsider, and instead of me being, and by the end of the call, we feel some kind of kinship or connection. Especially when I utilize LinkedIn prior to the outreach, it makes it so much more easier for that dialogue to be able to continue or to be able to start in the first place because we have that connection already. So I got that engagement and it allows for better conversations. If I can have great 10 conversations in a day, that's a successful day. Because what naturally happens, you're going to probably find at least a third of those will turn into some kind of opportunity or appointment that we can move forward with. So my measure is, again, meaningful outreach activities. We try to get meaningful conversations. Those meaningful conversations then leads to opportunity/appointments. But the first little bit of that call, you can't get to that part if you're not getting that person to engage back with you and start conversation. And that's my secret. So I slow down the call. I ask them specific questions at the very beginning, verify it's the right person with the name. After I get the name verified, then I go into see if the name of our company rings a bell. And usually at that point, I have collected myself enough that I can go back to the relevancy points that I have for them and the effective value proposition. Now, I would love to hear what you do when you're going through a call motion and you get that person on a call and they finally pick up. What is your process? And if you haven't done so already, go ahead and connect with me. Not just send a follow, but go to LinkedIn, click on the three buttons to the right of that follow, and you'll see a drop down, and one of them is connect. Connect with me and send a little message telling me that you hear the podcast and that you found a podcast, you like it a podcast. It would mean a lot. Also check out our friends over at Ambition and make sure as well that you check out the amazing sponsors for this podcast. As always, I want you to thrive. I want you to succeed. I want you to be successful in all your endeavors. I want you to be able to earn the money you deserve. I want you to get in touch with the right people. I want you to expand your organization's value, your mission, and to be successful in that mission, because I know you guys are out there trying to solve problems for people. I want you to be able to have those meaningful conversations. I want you to be able to build the pipe, and I want you to be able to generate the business. Most importantly, I want you to raise your level of thinking. I want you to go out and do big things. See you on the next one.